Hello there guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Histon. And coming up in today's video, we've got the final game of Season 5 away against Alfreton, and it's actually quite a big one when it comes to the league, because we are on the cusp of actually having the biggest bottle job since probably the team I support, Derby County, bottled the playoffs in March in 2015, where we were top of the league in March and then just completely fell away and finished outside the playoffs in the final game of the season. So, since you last with me, the league form has been absolutely atrocious. As you can see, there's not a lot of green on that front, as we started off with the a 2-1 defeat away against Clitheroe after the unfortunate 4-3 aggregate defeat that we had in the FA Trophy semi-final, which you saw in the last episode. We then followed that up with a 2-1 defeat against Clitheroe. We were on the back foot straight away after 2 minutes when Steve Goddard picked up an instant red card for just 2 minutes from a stupid challenge that he made. Fernley then opened the scoring from the resulting free kick before Justin May equalised with despite us having 10 men, and then Jack Everest then scoring a second goal for Clitheroe, which was actually kind of a wonder fluke goal, which was really frustrating. Also, I was really annoyed with the ref in this particular match because he was always giving us yellow cards. Yes, you can see there's yellow cards on the left hand side, but there were much more occurrences on ours, especially in the first half, for only just one foul or whatsoever, and whereas their opposition was getting one or two fouls before they actually got booked. So, yes, they had a player sent off later on in the match, but we'd been playing for nearly or over an hour with 10 men before the sides were even. So, yeah, I was really annoyed with the referee in this one. I probably would have had a serious word with the referee if the game was real life, but unfortunately it isn't. So, yeah, we have to just take that on the chin, and we ended up losing 2-1. I thought we turned the corner though with a 3-2 victory in the next match away against FC United of Manchester, which was absolutely crucial, I thought, based off where we were. I thought we were going to bottle it again, but Alex Simmons managed to open the scoring before Recom Harper equalised, and then Justin May and Simmons scoring a second goal ensured that we had a 3-1 lead before Alex Hunt pulled one back with 3 minutes remaining. I thought, oh no, we're going to drop points here again, but we managed to get the important victory. I think that's mainly the reason as to why we're still somehow in the playoffs. As you'll see in a minute, the results get worse as we go along. As you can see, we then lost 2-0 at home against Salford. I wasn't too upset with this one, considering the fact that they are top of the league. But yeah, it's one of those things I kind of wanted to point out of this one, at least because of the fact that just to give us a little bit more of insurance policy over the guys that are chasing us. But David Bishop and Sam Gordon scored both goals for Salford, and it kept them in the race when it came to the actual the league title, because I think at the moment they are currently sitting top of the league and are favourites to win it on the last game of the season. So yeah, one of those things, I guess. They're chasing the league title that we didn't really create anything on our home pitch, which was really disappointing. And we then followed that up with a 1-1 draw at home against Gainsborough. We had to come from behind in this particular match. Ben Whitbread opening the scoring for Gainsborough before Callum Harris equalising. Again, not many chances created on our end in terms of shots on target, and we weren't able to take them all, which is really frustrating again. And as you can see, the strikers seem to have dried up in terms of goals, because Callum Harris was the only man that managed to score, and he actually came off the bench as well, which was yeah, one of those things. Who was a super sub in the end. And also, as you see right here, the games with players were looking absolutely shattered at the end of that match. So really disappointed that we weren't able to get a second goal and get that winner there. But yeah, we then followed that up with another 1-1 draw, this time away against Braintree. Jack Burton opened the scoring for Braintree before Alex Simmons rescuing another point. As you can see, we were much better in this game in creating chances, but again, not clinical enough. And the fact is, some of the goals have started to dry up. I mean, Alex Simmons did score, which was one thing, but the fact that Cregan hadn't scored in a good while, which was really frustrating me. And also, Gifford and Mbunga have also started to dry up as well, which is really frustrating, again, as I'm repeating myself quite a few times. But yeah, it's a 1-1 draw away against a team that's near towards the relegation zone, which is really frustrating. It is not the worst result that we could have got, though. The worst result was the next match, which was a 5-0 defeat away against Coventry United, a team that's bottom of the league and that were relegated the previous week. So this was absolutely unacceptable based off the ratings. As you can see, everyone did absolutely rubbish. 5.9, 6s, really poor performances from everybody. Kuyar, the only one that kind of did alright, and Taylor McKenzie came off the bench with a 6.9, but everyone else was absolutely rubbish. How can a team that's bottom of the league relegated already, all of a sudden have the Spurs to then go off and win 5-0 against a team challenging for playoffs. Surely it should be the other way round. Yes, Coventry United want to play for pride, but come on now, we should be doing a lot better than this. It was absolutely ridiculous. I nearly had to put my fist through the laptop, but that would have been a very, very stupid idea because, of course, I then would have lost the save. So, yeah, I walked away from the computer for a bit before I actually came back onto the game because I really needed to walk that one off. Really frustrating, especially with that. And then we then followed that up with a 1-1 draw against Bishop Auckland. We should have really won this game in the end. Alfie Davison scored his first goal of the season, and Bishop Auckland were down to 10 men after Luke Joyce was sent off in the 29th minute. But James Lovett, the player of the season probably for the league, equalised and ensured that Bishop Auckland took a point and ensured that the title race actually went down to the final game of the season because they were currently sitting at second at the time and they were losing, which would have handed Salford the win. But they were able to get that goal and ensure that the title race did go down to the final game of the season. And all this has meant is that we haven't won a game at all in April. We didn't win a single game in April. We hadn't won since the FC United game. So that is one win in 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. One win in 8 games, which is kind of relegation form. Yes, we've had quite a few draws in that frame, but come on, that's the sort of form we shouldn't be associating ourselves with if we want to be battling for the playoffs. But as you can see, that really poor run of form has seen us our lead ahead of the guys of the chasing pack completely wiped out. As you can see, we're now only 1 point clear of 6th place Boreham Wood. Nuneaton are also dropped down a little bit in the league. They've lost the last 3 games, which is why they're currently sitting in 7th. Kettering are now ahead of us by 1 point, whilst Stalybridge is also in 8th place, also have a slim chance of actually making the playoffs. So it's really come down to the final game of the season here as to who's going to end up getting the last 2 playoff spots. But the main aim for us today is if we win, we're in. That's as simple as that. If we can win against Alfreton, who are a lower mid-table team, who are not really fighting anybody, will probably could get us into the top half if they won their the top half of the bottom end of the table if they won their match. But I'm hoping that they don't really try too much because we want to try and get in. But of course, they will want to give their fans a good ending to the league campaign after a kind of average season for them. So we've got to do our due diligence and make sure we get the right result today. As we now head into the final games of the season, I forgot to show you what the league table at the top is looking like. Salford are currently leading the way by 3 points, so a defeat for Salford and a win for Bishop Auckland will ensure that the title will go to Bishop Auckland instead of Salford. Otherwise, Salford City can get a point against Kidderminster away from home, and they would be promoted as champions, and finally it will be up into the Vanarama National League. But a defeat for them and a win for Bishop Auckland against Coventry United, who are bottom of the league, will result in the title going to Bishop Auckland. Boston are secure in 3rd, whilst it's a battle between us, Kettering, Boreham Wood, Nuneaton and Stalybridge as to who gets those 4th and 5th spots. I kind of want to get that 4th spot because I don't really want to play against Bishop Auckland again, although we have a little bit of form against them compared to Boston United, so it could be a blessing in disguise if Bishop Auckland don't end up winning the league. They might end up being a little bit depressed or whatever, not being able to get that league title, and might fall into a trap like Brighton and Hove Albion did back in 2016, when they were in those top 2 promotion spots in the Championship to get promoted to the Premier League, but then fell off out into 3rd, then lost to Sheffield Wednesday, who were the 6th place team at the time. Yes, Brighton managed to redeem themselves in the following year, but yeah, we want to try and see if we can make a game of ourselves if we do get in the playoffs. We've got to make the playoffs first, though, if we want to give these guys a challenge to see if they're hard enough to get into the next division. I kind of want to give my players a little bit of playoff experience, and also give you guys another episode to watch as well with regards to this particular save and also season. So this is one of the biggest team selections I've got to do in this save since probably the first season when we actually won the league title on the final game of the season. But yeah, here is the team that I'm going to go for today. Ryan Schofield is in goal, with Goddard. Burns actually going to be playing instead of Shane Lovell, because Lovell's struggling a little bit with conditioning. I think I kind of want to save him if we do get to the playoff semi-finals. George Burns, I think, should hopefully provide ourselves with a good partnership with Terrell Thomas, who's not had a very good recent run of form. So I'm hoping he can snap out of it in the next game, in this particular game. He's alongside George Burns with Gregory on left back, Kuyar and Davidson in the middle with Joel and May on the wings. Cregan and Mbunga are going to be up front because Mbunga's kind of had a little bit more form compared to Alex Simmons in recent matches. So that's the team I'm going for today. It's a risk to play a couple of players that are, in terms of star rating, aren't the best 11, but I'm hoping we're picking up based on form, and hopefully some of the guys that I am picking that aren't in the greatest form can finally snap out of it in the biggest game probably of the season. So without further ado, that's enough of me talking. Let's get into the match. George Burgess is lacking match sharpness, but I don't really care, to be honest, because I think he will be able to see out the match, considering he's on 100% conditioning in terms of his 100% on there alongside Terrell Thomas. Alright, apparently we're favourites for this match at 4-7, but I'm not going to take that any chances here. We're up against I've got a tunnel interview here. I'm going to be going for that and see if we can go for that. Go for that. And see how we get on. Let's have a quick look at the starting 11 for Alfreton. Looks like they're going for a 4-1-2-3. Akwasi Asante, I do remember him. I think he's a former Birmingham City player. Is that Luis Hernandez? Oh, Loic Hernandez, I thought it was the same Hernandez that initially played a little bit for Leicester City, but I very much doubt it. It's a different Hernandez anyways. Let's get into the opposition instructions. Alright, let's get into the team talk now. Just fiddle around with the tactics here. Let's get ourselves some really good motivation in this team talk. We need to get ourselves into the mindset to try and win this match. Let's see if this team talk does well. Unfortunately, no one has reacted in a positive manner. They've all listened keenly though, so hoping that's going to make a difference. Two centre backs look happy, which is good. That's what we need those two to perform this time compared to what we've done in the last few games, especially after what happened in the last away game against Coventry United. We've got to get the cobwebs out of the system after that disaster. Both strikers look happy as well, which is really important. Let's get on with the final game of the season. We're going to have to keep an eye on that league table as well in case things aren't going our way. We need to make sure we get that victory today, just to guarantee that we're going to be in the playoffs. I don't care now as to who we end up playing out of Boston United or the winner of Bishop Auckland and Salford. So we're now underway. I think it's taking a little bit longer than expected. I don't know why. Alfreton are kicking off from left to right, back towards their back four. Fallowfield into Allen in the midfield. Sante is up front for Alfreton, as I mentioned before. Davis has managed to win it back though, and here's May on the left-hand side, but that is the end of the first highlight. Oh, FC United have gone 1-0 up against Boreham Wood, which means that's one of our rivals that are losing at the moment, and that's going to according to plan. Okay, it looks like a highlight for us. Joel's played a ball up towards Krieg, and we might have a chance of crossing the ball here if he doesn't get closed down. He's managed to get the ball in, and Munga is there, and he's just hit it just wide of the right-hand post of the Alfreton goal, and that was a really good chance to get us a little bit of breathing space and get that 1-0 advantage. And as it stood, would have got us ahead of Kettering, with the results going in our favour at the moment. Okay, we've got a free kick for Alfreton. It's played in, and Schofield is there to claim it. But Thomas has had a foul. Oh no, really? Are we really going to throw this away on the final game of the season? They've got a penalty for Alfreton. Asante takes it, and he's hit it in the left-hand side of the net. Schofield couldn't do anything about it, and Asante has scored his 17th of the season. We're now 1-0 down, and as it stands, I think we're going to be dropping out of the playoffs. Actually, no, I think we're still in it. Because I think we were on 68, which was the total that we should be on if we were to draw the match. But it doesn't look like Nuneaton are winning in their game. Okay, here's the penalty. Asante takes a nice little calm finish onto the right-hand side of Schofield's net, and unfortunately we were unable to save it. But right now, as it stands, we're still in that playoffs. I don't really want to get into the playoffs, though, by the fact that everyone else is messing up here as well. So looks like we might have a little bit of a response on our hands with Joel on his right-hand side. Plays the ball up towards Cregan. Maybe another chance to cross in towards Mbunga, and he has done. It is 1-1 straight away. A good response. Mbunga with his 20th goal of the season. Really, that could be a really important goal when everything's said and done. Because as it stands, we've now got a 2-point gap over Nuneaton and Boreham Wood, who I think are both losing based off those stats, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. I do remember Boreham Wood are losing from their last game. I didn't see any other scores pop up on the dashboard. I might actually put up the scoreboards as Kuyar plays the ball in, but it's been cleared away by the Alfreton defence. Here's Thomas. Some reason out of position as a centre-back. Please get back before you get caught in the break. Gregory on this left-hand side might find Thomas again, and here's Davidson out to Kuyar to Mbunga. who turns it back up to Gregory. You've got a bit of space to possibly cross it in. He doesn't know. He passes it to May, who now Gregory crosses it in, and Mbunga is there. It's 2-1. We have turned this around. Really good, well played there. Mbunga with his second goal of the game, 21st of the season, and right now we're in really good position with a 2-1 advantage, and we're currently sitting in 4th place ahead of Kettering. So really good performance, good reaction after the early disaster of conceding the penalty. But as long as we don't concede here, we're going to be in really good shape, because regardless of what the other teams do, we are now going to be in the playoffs. But although we've got another highlight coming up possibly for Alfreton, but we've managed to win it back though in our own half. And here's Joel again, back to Cregan. Plays the ball towards Mbunga, who's on a hat-trick here. Maybe he can score this hat-trick here, and he just about hits it wide of the left-hand side of the post. That was really close to being a third goal, and that would probably seal the tie with just the first half going, as Boreham would have equalised against FC United. So now they're only 3 points behind us as it stands. We've got another free kick from Alfreton, but I think this time no penalty conceded, and Schofield's there to claim it. He probably will clear it up the field towards Mbunga, who might win it, but unfortunately not. Number 8 for Alfreton has done so, and a ball up to play towards Asante, but it's cleared away by Thomas, only as far as Allen though, who will play it up towards Wilton, who might get behind Goddard, and it's another penalty. Are you actually taking the mickey, guys? How many more penalties are you going to guys concede? What was the point of fouling him there as well? Because of the fact is, I don't think he was in there was any scoring chance right there, as Goddard picked up a yellow card from that. With just 1 minute remaining, we're going to be going. It's going to be 2-2, I think, with Santi again taking the penalty duties. He's looking for his second of the game from the penalty spot. Santi now steps up, but Schofield this time saves it, and it is still 2-1 with just a minute to go until half time. Schofield guessing again the right way. This time he's able to keep it out, and it is 2-1. Now we get into half time. We've got to make sure we get the performances up, particularly of the defence, especially Steve Goddard and George Burns are both on a 6.3. Maybe I have to bring on Taylor McKenzie about halfway through the second half to see if there's anything I can do to improve those ratings. But all the midfield seem to be happy. The midfield are doing their bit, and the attackers are doing their bit. It's just 2 defenders that aren't doing their bit right now. And I might actually take off Goddard a bit later on in this match. Let's just hope by leaving him on now that doesn't come back to haunt us just yet. As we now begin the second half, I think it's time for us to seal this victory here. If we can get that third goal, it will calm our nerves a little bit here, as Joel's play is on this right hand side. But that's the end of the highlights of the start of the second half. We've got an instant one from a throw-in. Goddard threw it out to Joel, who plays out towards May. He's got a nice bit of space on that left-hand side. May play out to Gregory, who, if he gets forward, but unfortunately May's giving it away, and Gregory's now way too far forward here, and Briggs on this right-hand side will probably cross it into Santi, and he has done, and it is 2-2. That is the wrong thing to happen. The one thing I want to happen at the start of the second half, not for this sort of crap to happen, and Asante and Briggs have punished us because of Gregory's decision to go a bit too far forward, as the right back for Alfreton won the ball back, and it's now 2-2 with 48 minutes on the clock. I might actually also make that substitution in terms of the defence now, because Goddard's now gone down to 6.2, and I kind of want to get a bit of freshness on the team with Taylor McKenzie on the pitch. Maybe get a little bit of experience also on there, because he knows that sort of thing. As Boreham would have now gone 2-1 down to FC United. Stalybridge have moved up as well. They're now only 1 point behind us, but I think they can't get in. As you can see there right there, they're 2-0 up against Nuneaton, but they can't get into the playoffs if we are gaining at least a point. So if everything stays as it is right now, we're still safe. We've just got to make sure Boreham Wood don't turn it round in their respective game. As the Alfreton have made some substitutions, we might actually make a couple as well. Boreham Wood are now 3-1 down, so I don't see them getting any further and overturning their particular tie. We're going to bring on Adrian Morford with 19 minutes or so remaining. Might also bring on Callum Harris a bit later on, just to seal the deal here. I kind of want to get that third goal though, because I want to try and get ahead of Kettering. But if it means we play Bishop Auckland, then we might have a little bit of an advantage, because overall on aggregate we managed to win the net tie against Bishop Auckland. As we now head them towards the last 4 minutes. No highlights have been achieved there. George Burns is now down to a 6.0, so I've got to. Hopefully he doesn't make one more mistake, which will then cost us our playoff spot. Because if we do end up conceding a goal, then Stalybridge will steal that final playoff spot. So we've got to make this. This is a really tough call, but I'm going to bring off Justin May and bring on Alex Simmons. Maybe we can get that last-minute winner to ensure that we have a little bit of leeway as we head into the last few minutes. We've got a highlight though on this left-hand side. Kettering are now 1-0 up, so it looks like they're going to be secure in that 4th place. But Cregan's there, and he's taking a shot, and it's 3-2. Really good goal from Cregan. I thought he was offside actually, but it was a really nice assist. I don't know who got that assist, but that could be the winning goal, and that will pretty much secure our playoff spot. I can't see us now throwing this away. I think it was Davidson with a nice ball over the top. It looks like it was a really good run from Cregan, who manages to control it really well and finishes it past the keeper, who was kind of out of position from that. He had to come out though, because of course his defenders were all over the place and weren't thinking. But as you can see, we're trying to clear away a resulting free kick. When we've done it, it's a 3-2 victory. We finally get a victory for the first time since the end of March, and it's a fantastic job. We are now officially in the playoffs. It's absolutely amazing to be in the playoffs after only just one season in the conference, or in the 6th tier of English football, after it took us a couple of seasons to actually, or 2 seasons to actually make the playoffs in the division below when we initially were promoted into the 7th tier. So it's a good performance from us. Let's see if we can carry on that momentum into the playoffs. Alright, and there it is. Salford City have officially won the Vanarama National League North title. Looks like Bishop Auckland weren't able to win their respective fixture. So congratulations to Salford. They are now going to be promoted into the Vanarama National. Really well done job there by the Class of 92 owned team. I think they actually got a takeover as well, so a little bit more money has come into the club. But yeah, we've now secured a playoff spot alongside Kettering, which is important. Cregan's also ended his goal drought after failing to score in about 10 hours of football, which is really important. Any other things that should have happened? Stalybridge managed to win against Nuneaton, which is the reason why Nuneaton dropped back down to 8th, and Bournemouth lost 4-1 to FC United. So we did our bit, but in the end it didn't really matter. As long as we got a point, we would have been in great shape. But to win that is really good. It's really good momentum for us as we get into the next the match, which will probably be the playoffs. Which will be the playoffs. It says it's against an unknown team, but it will be against Bishop Auckland. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Really, really important that we got that victory, and ensures that it means our season continues on. Maybe a triple live com episode, depending on what happens in this playoff semi-final, because of course it is a 2-legged affair in the this particular division, unlike the last time we were in the playoffs, where it was only just one game every time. So it might be a 3-game live com, or it could be one episode of the playoff semi-final and one episode of the playoff final. I haven't decided exactly what happens with that. So until then, guys, I will see you later. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. See you all for the next episode, which will be the playoff semi-finals, probably against Bishop Auckland, or most likely against Bishop Auckland. So until then, see you later.